Alright, buckle up and hit that subscribe button right now because what I'm about to reveal is hands down one of the most savage, most ruthless, most absolutely brutal corporate decisions in tennis history. We're talking about $45 million, a world number one getting completely blindsided, years of loyalty meaning absolutely nothing, and a young rising star about to become the face of one of the biggest brands on planet Earth. This is the kind of story that makes you realize professional sports is a cold, calculating business where sentiment means nothing and marketability means everything. Nike, the global sportswear giant with the iconic swoosh that everybody recognizes, has just signed Filipino tennis sensation Eala to an absolutely massive 3-year contract worth a staggering $45 million. Yes, you heard those numbers correctly. $45 million. For a player who hasn't won a Grand Slam. For a player who's currently ranked 40th in the world. For a rising star who has been making serious waves but hasn't reached the absolute pinnacle of the sport yet. That's not a typo. That's not a rumor. That's real money for real potential. But here's where this story transforms from interesting business news into absolute must-watch drama that has the entire tennis world talking. While Nike is rolling out the red carpet for Eala, treating her like the second coming of Serena Williams, positioning her as their golden child for the future, they are simultaneously and brutally giving the absolute cold shoulder to someone who has been loyal to them for years. Someone who has won multiple Grand Slams wearing their logo. Someone who is currently the world number one. I'm talking about Aryna Sabalenka, and the way she's being treated in all of this is absolutely shocking. Let me paint you the full picture of what's been happening behind the scenes because this situation has been building for a while and it all just exploded into public view. Nike has been watching Eala very closely for months, studying her movements, analyzing her popularity, tracking the massive crowds that follow her everywhere she goes. And what they've seen has completely convinced them that Eala is not just the future of tennis, she's specifically the key to unlocking the absolutely massive Asian market that every major brand desperately wants to dominate. Reports have been flooding in from tournament after tournament that thousands upon thousands of people have been flooding the streets just to catch a glimpse of Eala playing. We're not talking about casual fans showing mild interest. We're talking about absolute mania. People camping out for tickets. Security having to manage massive crowds. The kind of fan devotion that marketers literally dream about at night. The excitement around her is absolutely electric, it's palpable, it's measurable in dollars and cents, and Nike knew they had to act fast before they lost out. And here's the critical part that explains Nike's urgency and willingness to throw $45 million at a player ranked 40th in the world. Nike wasn't the only major brand pursuing Eala. New Balance and Adidas were both heavily interested and aggressively going after her with their own offers. And Nike absolutely did not, under any circumstances, want a repeat of what happened with Coco Gauff. Remember that disaster? Nike lost Coco Gauff to New Balance a few years ago, and it has been haunting them ever since. Gauff has become one of the most marketable athletes in all of tennis, possibly in all of sports. Her face is everywhere. Her influence is enormous. She's winning Grand Slams and she's doing it all while wearing New Balance, not Nike. That loss cost Nike potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in the long run, and executives at Nike headquarters have been absolutely kicking themselves ever since. They were determined not to make the same catastrophic mistake twice. So when they saw the opportunity with Eala, when they saw those massive Filipino crowds and recognized the potential, they jumped on it immediately with everything they had. Now, while the official contract details haven't been formally confirmed by either Nike or Eala's management team, which is standard practice for these kinds of deals, multiple reliable sources within the sports industry are reporting that the deal is worth $45 million over 3 years with additional performance-based add-ons and bonuses that could push it significantly higher. We're potentially talking about a deal that could approach $60 or $70 million if she hits certain milestones. But here's the part that really demonstrates how much Nike believes in this investment and how committed they are to making Eala a global superstar. She isn't just getting a standard endorsement deal like most tennis players receive where you wear the logo and show up to a few events. She's being positioned as the face of Nike in all of Southeast Asia. That's a monumentally huge responsibility. Nike is essentially declaring to the entire world that Eala is going to be their primary ambassador for an entire geographic region, and they're betting massive amounts of money on her star power to drive sales and brand recognition across Southeast Asia. Think about what that means in practical terms. Nike is investing heavily not just in Eala's current popularity, but in her future potential over the next decade. They're giving her not just money, but a platform, resources, marketing campaigns, and a role that comes with immense responsibility and global visibility. They're treating her like an established icon, giving her the kind of treatment that only the absolute elite athletes in their entire roster receive. We're talking custom-designed outfits for every tournament, major promotional campaigns across Asia, billboards, commercials, social media pushes. All the bells and whistles that come with being a Nike signature athlete at the very highest level. Now let's talk about the absolutely massive elephant in the room that makes this story so controversial and frankly so uncomfortable to watch unfold. Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one, a multiple Grand Slam champion, someone who has been with Nike for years and years. While Eala is being showered with this massive contract and all this attention and special treatment and promotional resources, Sabalenka has been completely and utterly left out in the cold. And the contrast between how these two players are being treated by the same company couldn't possibly be more stark or more brutal. 4 years, and I mean multiple years of asking repeatedly, Sabalenka has been requesting improvements to her Nike contract. She's been increasingly vocal about wanting recognition from Nike that actually matches her status as one of the absolute top players in the world. Before the season even started, Sabalenka specifically and publicly addressed the issue of wanting a complete unique custom outfit befitting her position as the number 1 ranked player in women's tennis. She felt, quite reasonably in my opinion, that she had earned that level of treatment and respect from Nike given everything she had accomplished while wearing their brand. In her own words during an interview, she said unfortunately next season it's just not going to be that special for her. You could hear the disappointment in her voice. But what did Nike say to her repeated requests? They told her no. They flatly declared that they were not willing to give Sabalenka the prominence and special custom treatment she was asking for. Let that absolutely sink in for a moment. Sabalenka, a multiple Grand Slam champion and the world number 1, the highest-ranked player in all of women's tennis, was told by Nike that she wasn't worth the investment for a unique custom outfit. Meanwhile, and this is where the contrast becomes almost comically brutal, as soon as Nike saw Eala's rising popularity and the excitement she was generating in markets they desperately wanted to capture, they acted immediately and signed her to a $45 million deal with all the custom outfits and special treatment that Sabalenka had been begging for. The message Nike is sending is crystal clear and devastating. Sabalenka has been with Nike for years. She's won major titles at the highest level of the sport. She's been consistently at or near the top of the rankings. And yet Nike wouldn't budge on giving her what she wanted or felt she deserved. But Eala, who admittedly has incredible potential and is generating real measurable excitement, but hasn't reached Sabalenka's level of achievement yet in terms of titles won, gets a $45 million contract and is made the face of Nike in an entire region. The disrespect towards Sabalenka is absolutely shocking and honestly pretty sad to witness. But wait, because there's significantly more to this story and it gets even messier and more complicated when you dig into the details. The relationship between Nike and Sabalenka has reportedly been deteriorating for quite a while now, and recent events and controversies have only accelerated the breakdown. Sabalenka herself has publicly confirmed that Nike will no longer be creating custom-made dresses for her going forward. She's even hinted in interviews and social media that she's been reaching out to Nike through direct messages, trying desperately to convince them to keep providing her with those signature custom outfits. But from all indications, things are moving rapidly in the wrong direction, and multiple sources suggest their partnership might not even survive through the end of this year. So what exactly went wrong? How did we get from Nike sponsoring the world number 1 to potentially cutting ties completely? There are several interconnected factors at play here. First, there was Sabalenka's high-profile loss to Madison Keys at the US Open where she was caught smashing her racket in frustration. That created negative headlines and Nike wasn't thrilled about being associated with that image. But more significantly, there were Sabalenka's controversial comments about Coco Gauff after Gauff won Roland Garros. In that infamous press conference, Sabalenka essentially downplayed Gauff's success, suggesting she only won because Sabalenka made mistakes. Those comments created massive backlash throughout the tennis community, and Nike, which values its public image extremely highly, was absolutely not happy about being associated with that controversy. Nike has been increasingly and noticeably distancing itself from Sabalenka both on the court and off. The brand is reportedly not defending her behavior anymore or standing by her side during controversies. And as these issues continue to pile up, it's becoming crystal clear that Nike is making a cold, calculated business decision to protect their brand by separating from Sabalenka regardless of her ranking or titles. But it gets even more serious. Nike apparently warned Sabalenka multiple times about her actions and behavior, but from their perspective things didn't improve. During the WTA finals, there are reports and allegations that Sabalenka was racially abusing Elena Rybakina after her loss in the final. These are extremely serious allegations that, if true, represent a major problem that goes way beyond tennis or sponsorship deals. Nike was reportedly deeply disturbed by how Sabalenka was treating opponents, and these behavioral issues pushed the relationship beyond repair. The timing of all this is particularly brutal for Sabalenka. Imagine being world number one, having won multiple Grand Slams, asking your sponsor for recognition for years and being told no repeatedly, then watching them give $45 million to someone ranked 40th. That's absolutely devastating. But from Nike's cold business perspective, they're making a decision based on marketability, behavior, public image, and future potential. And they've clearly decided Eala is the better investment. This whole situation is absolutely wild, and it's going to be fascinating watching how it plays out. If this story shocked you, smash that like button and drop a comment below. Do you think Nike made the right call? Is Sabalenka being treated unfairly, or did her behavior contribute? Let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more tennis drama.